Well, ForZe made that first map look fairly easy, Pimp, but we now go on to their map choice, a map that they're comfortable playing, but one that at least had a strong start from the Swedes yesterday. Do you think there's a chance that they managed to take this map away with the CT start, or is it just going to be more of the same from ForZe?
It's going to be more competitive, let's put it that way. Okay. I don't think they're only going to get away with 4 rounds this time around. I think that there was a lot of positive signs coming out of the Swedes. There was some moments in the game where you thought to yourself, all right, this is the shot, right? Win this round, you put some pressure on the ForZe, and you can maybe build off that. They weren't able to capitalize, and that's why it looks so one-sided. So the odds, they tell quite a story as well. I think ForZe are definitely the heavy favorites coming into this one. But I think the Swedes, you know, they showed me enough positive signals that I believe they have what it takes to make it competitive. The problem is I need to see some of the individuals step up to the occasions. There weren't enough firepower from the Swedes being put up against Flit, being put up against Power. If they can replicate that now and make sure that some of those players step it up just a notch more, I think we have a game that could potentially be exciting on our hands.
Yeah, I think especially with their matches as well, like if you go into this Nuke match again, like they play versus Furia, they're now playing versus ForZe. I feel like they've been unlucky with the opponents who are almost going to disrespect them, who are going to play those aggressive plays, who are going to peek into angles where you're going, what on earth is he doing? Why is he doing that? They're the 2 teams I would pick in this event. They're probably going to do that. Maybe add Crazy in as a third, but
sure,
it's difficult to play against teams like this, and especially so when, no matter how you come into this event, as ForZe are so individually skilled. Like, no matter who you fight against, you're getting a 1v1 duel that you're probably expected to lose.
ForZe is a team that very well could end up winning this entire event if they find the shape and the form we know them to have. So yeah, definitely tough task for them. Question is, can they get off to a good start here on the CT side? Looks like it. Slyden gets the first kill of the game here. It's a fast push towards down lower, and they catch AS off guard, and they catch Manti off guard. That's exactly what couldn't happen. You need to get out of those events. You need to establish some position on the map instead of getting caught inside that close corridor. Slyden getting his second kill of the round and making this round open once again. 3 versus 2 now. It's going to be a retake scenario here on lower bomb side. Minio and Slyden are not really in positions to do anything here, so that's going to be tough.
Flit as well, just holding on to the vent. The timing, however, could be perfect, but you know, he turns back around and gets the kill and leaves Minio alone. He does at least have a smoke and a kit. We've already seen how difficult yesterday all of these retakes on the B site were. Of course, in a pistol round, a little bit more randomness, a little bit more of a chance, but he doesn't expect Face Crack to be that close. ForZe, they're going to get the T side pistol. The start again will go in their favor. The question is, can we get the Force by victory once again coming out of their opposition?
Good question. I wouldn't go for it if I were Marshall. I would probably just save fully and make sure you have all the money available into the next round and see if you can establish, you know, a presence on the map. And I think that's exactly what they're opting to do here as well. So well played to the Swedes, at least in terms of managing their economy. That pistol round again, you know, they had an opportunity. They were close. 2 guys got stuck inside the vent area. They went down, and again, a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of a late rotation on a map like Nuke, and you're going to end up losing the round completely. So rough for them, but again, showing that if they just play it well enough, there's definitely opportunities for them, right? It's not like ForZe is playing out of their minds and not gifting them anything. There's still plenty of room for the Swedes to work with here. Jerry, with a Mac 10 outside, he's just going to see if he can farm some money. He's currently being pressured by 3 or 4 USPs out there. Same goes on for Face Crack here. The question is, who wins this duel? He does easily, and there we go. It's just going to be a round where ForZe is going to farm as much money as possible. Shouldn't be a way that Marshall can do anything with these USPs. They're not really that powerful against the Mac 10.
Yeah, hoping at least for a little bit of damage, and while they managed a couple of kills, it's not bad. Again, we said this the last time when they started off on the T side. They managed to do a decent amount of damage with very, very little in round number 2. However, they never really capitalized off it. We saw that 1-round victory and then a Force by win that came back and sort of ruined them for the rest of the match. So I'm hoping that they can get off to a better start here. Like, get some rounds rolling, don't get dominated, don't have like an early break that destroys their economy. Just something where they can grind out a few rounds, gain some confidence, and build some money.
Yeah, that's going to be vital. That's going to be very vital for them. Power already on an AWP here. We see AS not quite able to catch Jerry falling down the vents with a Mac 10, already establishing a lot of presence on the map. And that's gonna mess with the rotations for Marshall. The fact that they know now Jerry is down here and he can be anywhere on the lower bomb side. He can be within the door, he can still be in the vents, which he is, and he can go left here to window as well. Slyden has to be aware of all of that by himself. So just the fact that you were able to put Jerry down there, that's gonna put a lot of pressure on this CT side. But the rest of the ForZe teams, they seem like they're slowly but surely gonna get ready for an inside split potentially. Power still has an orb in his hand, hasn't really found anything. Elmas here picking up the bomb, and it looks like we're gonna see an inside split in a second here.
There's still a lot of time on the clock. They could even make their way down the vent to join Jerry if they really wanted to. They know that there's currently nobody down there, and the peek up is actually going to gift Minio a kill. They should now know that there is a second player around that angle, and Power has to make the decision to go down the vent in the end. He didn't really get given a choice. At the same time, he's already tagged. Jerry's only on a Mac 10. The flank coming in from Manti as well, with Minio doubling up for a second kill. This is looking like a fairly bleak round, but even still, at any moment it can turn. Almeza with the pick could be the man to do it. I don't think there's any way that Jerry gets away with this kill, and with his teammates so low, I'm finding it difficult to see a way out of this round.
Yeah, you say that and then Power happens. Problem is bomb is down inside and there's no way he can do anything about this. Power stuck with an AWP, the lower bomb side. All he has to do now is save it, bring it into the next round, see if he can make some magic work. There's still gonna be a decent amount of money on the on the ForZe clan side. Not quite FaZe yet, but yeah, save this AWP, bring it into the next round, and see if you can make that work. Good round for Marshall. They dealt with the pressure. They dealt with Jerry. They put him down to low HP. They didn't give him any room to work with. Same goes on for when Power and his teammate tried to go out and make this boost. There we go. We see it. Minio taking down Flit straight away. They dealt with the pressure that was opposed to them quite well, and that's what we need to see on the CT side. There's going to be a lot of pressure being put on by ForZe, so if you can deal with it like this, then again, we can have a very competitive game on our hand.
Yeah, the only worry for me is these are the sort of rounds that ForZe seem to win. You put the pressure on, they end up with just a couple of rifles, and somehow they seem to make it work almost every single time. Face crack, early damage. Smoke out actually helps Ace to spot his position and get an entry. Flit just hoping to get the rifle, and he will. He was definitely the man to watch alongside Power in the previous. With those two both standing with rifles, still not overly worried for ForZe just yet.
Not at all. Question is if Flit is aware that Ace is hiding behind the second vent right here. If he peeks out and he overextends a little bit, could have a 3-3 on our hands, which is not necessarily a good thing for the CT side. So good thing that Ace is just staying behind here. He's playing it smart, not giving up anything. Making it tough for ForZe to get any opening into this bomb site. Looks like they're going to walk out the door and they're going to look for it. They're going to seek the duels. Flit though, he's going to expose himself in a second. His teammate only has a CC as well. It's not really the best weaponry. And now they're going to drop down the vent, and I like this play, you know. 3 guys lower now, and they got fully control over the lower bomb site, basically. There's 1 guy to defend it. That's going to be Manti with an MP9. If they can take him down without him doing any damage, then all of a sudden you have a very winnable round on your hands. Still going to hide here. He hasn't been spotted out. Haven't been able to have any impact. Power in a good position there. Flit goes down, and now they know he's here, but Power can't do anything about it. And he almost goes down to the wallbang as well from Manti. Been playing this round so good so far. Elmas here gets him down, but they now know where he is. It's up to Power to provide the coverage. Can't do that. And all of a sudden, it falls apart from ForZe. And we have a second round in a row for Marshall. And this is exactly what we wanted to see on Train. Them stringing rounds together, 2 in a row, surviving 3 guys, putting a lot of pressure on the ForZe economy. They can force up with pistols or maybe Galils here and a small armor, but realistically speaking, they should save. And that's what you want to see. Good start for the Swedes. Once again, you know, they're actually capitalizing of the opportunities. You got to give credit to Manti there for staying alive, not overextending, waiting for his teammates, and then hitting when it hurted the most. Whereas we see for ForZe, they actually decided to put a lot of money into this round. You know, a semi-buy here with CCs, a few grenades, and some armor on the guys.
Yeah, Face Crack's actually just fully bought, which is quite surprising. I guess if he gets a kill or 2, it may be worth it. He's going to keep running in. Doesn't manage it, but it is just going to be the trades. And of course, Power's now hit one with the Deeg as well. And another one as well. They've got some good opportunities here. How are these the rounds that they steal away? Everything was going so well. Manti with everything, but he gets the spray down too. He now has an opportunity. Left into the 1v1, but it's Power on the other side, and he wins it as well. An important clutch, but even still, what was invested, a bomb plant, 4 kills is not a bad round at all for ForZe.
And that is not a bad round, but they should definitely have won that one when they were in a 3-1 versus Manti. Once again, we got to give credit to him. 2 rounds in a row where he does it all for his team. This is a nice spray down, a little bit of unawareness coming out from Flit. He was just, I don't know, looking for a gun maybe to the ground, not really waiting for the opportunity to capitalize of the moment. But as said, it's not a bad round for ForZe. They have a lot of money behind this round now. Got some SGs, got an AWP and XP power, but they could have won that one. Manti made sure that they didn't though. Oh, that can be aggressive. FaceQuake is waiting for it. He's not able to punish it. Now he's in a rough position. He's probably gonna go down without a kill here. Down to 30 HP. They can't find each other now. He has to reload. Oh, Manti gets the kill, but that's not as beautiful as you'd like to. XP power thinks to himself, I'm not gonna go anything here, and Minio gets a kill towards Flit. This is starting to look like something now, Tom. 3-2 for Marshall, and up 4 against 3 in this round. Almasir taking down Manti.
Yeah, there's been a lot of opportunities for ForZe to get into this, but I like the confidence from Marskalk, just to go on that outside aggressive play, like take the fight to ForZe. It was mentioned on the desk when they were talking about how they played yesterday. They weren't playing frightened at all. They're more than willing to challenge. Oh, when shots like that are hit, it's very difficult to do anything about them whatsoever. The XP power factor lives once again. Jerry is just waiting on the angle. He's been spotted by A's at least. And that little bit of spray will force him back. 45 seconds still for ForZe to play with. Interested to see where they go.
We have Almasir right now on top of Mini. If he's going to drop down, he's going to face Slayton. Question is, whoever wins that duel is probably going to have a good chance of winning the round. That's going to be Slayton. Jerry, XP power pushes out the door. They're being caught right now in between a rock and a hard place. Jerry goes down. It's all up to XP power now. With the AWP, there's not a lot he can do from this position. 20 seconds as well. Maybe if he can drop down the vents, he can get a bomb plan and maybe work from that, but doesn't look like it. Time is running out now. 12 seconds left in the round, and he's going to get shot in the back, and that's it. XP power goes down, and that's Marshall with the 4th round in a row. Beautiful play by the Swedes, and once again, they are capitalizing off the opportunities that they're gifted. That wasn't the case on Train, but it has been on Nuke so far. 4-2, and they're putting some pressure on towards ForZe now, forcing them into taking a timeout. You know, once again, a money situation for the CIS squad where they can't really afford to buy anything big. So you can see that being put some slight pressure on the CIS squad here.
Yeah, I like the crossfire that they had in that round as well. Like that was something that the second, as you said, that mini battle was won by the CT side, that the round was over. They couldn't get anywhere near those players. They needed some sort of instant headshot, some hero play to get them anywhere near the round. And the fact that they're forcing ForZe into those sort of situations is definitely a good sign.
Definitely, and they're winning the duels now, right? Everything that was missing in Train is going their way right now, so it's good to see. Once again, we see a force buy or semi-buy coming out from ForZe here. CCs, a few pistols, some smokes, grenades, armor as well. FaceQuake with a Mac 10. We're actually going to see the same round being played out once more. He's going to push inside Mini, they're going to split inside. This time around, though, the Swedes are ready for it. They're getting all the kills their way. Now it's only Flit standing by himself with a CC, 69 HP. No utility. Not really a lot you can do from this position. He goes down to Slayton. So they tried to replicate the round they almost won before. This time around, though, the Swedes learned from it. They were ready for it. They got the kills needed. And we're now looking at a scoreline that says 5-2. Great start for the Swedes. They're really making an effort in this game. They're winning the duels. They are adapting well. And it seems like they're playing much, much better than they were on Train.
Yeah, and with the amount that ForZe is investing into a lot of these rounds, they are actually still limiting themselves. Like, Jerry's gone into this with just a flat rifle. Of course, I feel like that a lot of that is like an active decision being made by them, knowing, like, okay, we're going to go for these aggressive plays. A lot of it's just individual duels. Like, we haven't seen, like, even, like, outside smoke or anything. It's mainly just been battles across the map, and hey, at the moment, I think Marskalk are happy to take that. They seem a lot more comfortable on this CT side, at least.
Super comfortable, and they're very proactive as well in the way they're playing. They're not waiting for ForZe to do whatever they want to do. They're being proactive. They're moving around the map. Manti walking in with the AWP, getting a pick off there as well. On Almasir, that was well played. Now Minio in a great position to deal with Flit. He is going to... No, he's losing that duel. 3 HP, that was a little bit of a miss. Hopefully that's not going to cost them the round. Now Ace, he's stuck in behind this second vent. They know where he is, but have no utility to force him out. Actually, FaceQuake has a Molotov, but it's going to be tough for him to Molotov that angle. DC in a great position as well. He's going to get this kill, no doubt. And despite ForZe knowing where Ace is, there's nothing they can do about it. He's stuck right now. Not sure what that flash was supposed to do, but flash is a flash. Jerry desperately hoping that he's going to overextend, peek out, but it's not going to happen. He's too smart, Jerry. You got to do something else.
They're really hoping for something here. Smoke going to go down. The flash just thrown into the corner in an attempt to clear him, but with nobody peeking. And CT side, yeah, just playing this very smart. Okay, you have to get to the site. You're the ones that need to plant the bomb. You're the ones running out of time. And well, there's absolutely nothing that they can do. 6-2, dominant CT half so far from the Swedes, and yeah, this is complete night and day, but at the same time, I feel like this is sometimes where ForZe fall a little bit flat. Like, when there's no doubt they've got heaps of skill, there's no doubt that they're decent in their trades and clutch situations, but when that doesn't work, do they have much to fall back on?
It's a good question. I think we'll have to see that now. We see another force buy coming out. Another force buy, it's like one of these semi-buys where they buy up to a certain amount where they can have money for next round, but not fully money. DC trying to see if he can see through the smoke. He doesn't spot them, I think. Believes that nobody's down there. Flit leading the charge with a Mac 10 together with FaceCrack. They are gaining a lot of map control very, very fast. They're catching them off guard here. Goes down Manti. That's a bit of a problem now because they have control over the lower bomb side. They can smoke off Slayton, Molotov him away as well. Basically exclude him from the bomb side. This is a very dangerous situation for the Swedes. You have to retake the lower bomb side 5 against 4, and that's gonna be rough, man. The weaponry, Almasir with an S2, Jerry with a CC outside. This is looking like it's gonna slip away from the Swedes.
Yeah, it always seems to be the case with ForZe. Like, these are the sort of rounds where they pick up the pace, they switch up what they've been doing. Like, every time that they've had these sort of pistol half buys, they've been running around into the A site. They finally switch it up and hit that outside, which is not something we've really seen at all. I think there was one round they challenged it a bit, but it was the aggressive CTs that sort of put them off. They finally go in that direction fully as a unit, and Marskalk, well, they're going to get their first kill with the bomb about 3 seconds away from going off.
Yeah, not really optimal. This is, at least they get to save the AWP and DC. They still have a good bank behind them as well. There's going to be no problem buying into this next round. So that's something they got going for them. Obviously, they have been winning 5 rounds in a row, so the money is decent on the Swedish side. But a round like this, you know, it's great to see that ForZe has this extra gear. You posed the question yourself, do they have anything else to fall back on? And I think this is the answer for ForZe. If they can be explosive in the way they're playing Counter-Strike, then sure, I think they can be a pity to play against. But is that sustainable for a longer period of time on a map like Nuke? I don't think so. They need to be able to grind out rounds. They need to be able to win a round like this. You have full utility, you have all the guns in the world, you have an AWP and XP power, every single grenade that you want to. This is where ForZe needs to show that they are the better team, and they also know how to grind out rounds slowly but surely. XP power being boosted up here. See if you can spot anything. Find a player peeking towards him. Very defensive approach from the Swedes here in terms of dealing with the yard control.
Well, interesting as well that I think DZ originally was playing around mini with the AWP, like actually peeking out from the side, which is not something you see too often with an AWP. It's normally you try and play from range, have those battles from afar, but he seems fairly happy to get up in the faces of his opposition. In fact, he's just going to go pushing right through. Nobody there to find, and the more worrying prospect is that they've given so much map control up to ForZe, and these executions, when you have heaven control onto the A site, even if you know it's coming, it's still difficult to deal with.
It's very difficult. Ace in a rough position right here. Manti can maybe do something about that. He's missing the shot. That's a nice headshot from FaceCrack. XP power finding DC, and all of a sudden it's falling apart for the Marshall guys. One guy left inside, that's Ace. If he can get another kill here, stay alive, there may be a chance for him to turn around this round, but he's being pressured from all sides right now. Getting a second kill, almost a third on Jerry. Now it's all up to Slayton. Question is, does he find the timing to get up the vents? Oh, he spots the bomb and he can take him down, and he does so. XP power left in a 1v1 bomb, not down yet. This is gonna be a close one. Slayton already out there. XP power spot, misses the first bullet. Chances up his position, goes up. You know, that's gonna be a tough shot for XP power to hit now. He needs to wait for him to make the move. Otherwise, I believe Slayton is going to win this one. He's down to 45 HP, missing another opportunity right here. And he's just all over the place, and he missed it. What is Slayton doing? Oh, he played that perfectly fine up until the point where he overextended himself a little bit. He gave XP power another shot, another chance. He was down to 45 HP. That was a little bit unlucky, dare I say. Maybe, you know, lack of coolness in a situation like that from Slayton as well. He did so fine up until that point. That was a very important round, and now all of a sudden you have ForZe back inside this game. You have a weak buy from the Swedes, and if ForZe wins this round, well, you say 6-5. That's a great T-half so far for ForZe.
Yeah, we spoke about it yesterday, like what the minimum was you would like to see on the CT side. And when you were looking like 7 or 8 rounds, is it similar on the T side, or is it, okay, 5-6 rounds, a bit like Train?
A bit like Train, you know, 5 or 6 rounds, especially if you're the favorites in ForZe. If you can get away with 6 in this half, I think there's a good chance of them winning this one. DC knows he's up there and misses the shot. That was a great opportunity to get a kill with the AWP. We haven't really seen him having an impact in this game so far. It looked good in train in the beginning, but ever since it's been slowing down. Slayton pushing all the way up. He's been very proactive though in this game, getting his 11th kill. Well done by him. Almost getting caught off guard here, but that's the thing though. You're now allowing ForZe to go down 3 guys towards the lower side. They have all the utility they want. They take control over this lower bomb side. I know it's a 5 versus 3 situation, but I'd say this is a 50-50 round, and you don't want to be in a position like that if you got 2 opening kills.
Well, especially when you consider the utility, the kit, even some of the weaponry, which is now being retrieved at least, but the time is ticking, and I think they know it. Running down the ramp, just trying to get into this side as quickly as possible. Amazer just holding the angle, and with the AWP shot not being hit, well, it eventually is. Great position from FaceCrack. He's actually only going to get 1, but XE Power alongside him, and he's the perfect man to have in these situations. Turns it down to the 1 versus 1, and, well, I think they know now that they need to get this kill very quickly indeed. It's already done. XE Power again. 3 kills from him on that AWP. Doesn't even break a sweat. And it's a 5th round on the board already for ForZe.
That's exactly what I mean. Even though you're up 5 against 3 guys, even though that you have a decent retake positions, you get down to the vent, you go from ramp 3 guys together, there's nothing you can do on lower bomb side, especially not when you have XE Power just hitting every single close-up AWP shot that he's hitting. These shots that you're watching right here, they're not easy to hit. It's very skilled, it's very great by XE Power, and once again, the Swedes find themselves in a rough position. They got off to a very good start in this game, but they can't capitalize on it. They can't keep the foot on the gas pedal. Isn't that how it goes, Tom?
That's the one.
There we go.
That's the thing. I think he got all his misses out of the way in the clutch before,
yeah,
and still won. So
exactly.
That's the worrying thing as well. It's like even when he is missing, he seems to position himself well enough that he still forced his opponent into some sort of play, which gave him the kill in the end. Like obviously it was a bit of a misplay overall, but it was still just because he was like, okay, I've peaked a bit, I've taken some damage, now I'm just going to waste some time. And then in that one, wow. Didn't miss a single shot. There's little you can do other than just try and group up on him, and by that point, too little, too late. As you mentioned, economy now becomes an issue for Marskalk, which far more of a problem for them. Already 5 rounds on the board, and you're going into a round with just pistols. A likelihood for ForZe of a 6th. In fact, I'd be very surprised. We haven't seen too much from pistols from them. Like the USPs, the Glocks, a couple of times did some damage, but they've never managed to actually capitalize on any of these rounds. So I can't expect it to happen. It's still getting close once again. Like a couple go back the other way. They're forcing rebuys at least, and considering ForZe have made very little cash. But again, I'm getting sort of flashbacks to the previous map where they did damage to the economy. They made things costly. They forced rebuys, but they never won a round. So it was void. Like every time ForZe were getting those rebuys in, then they'd win another one. They'd get more money to get more rebuys in. It's like, well, if we keep doing this to the end of the map, we just win.
It's a little bit annoying, right? It's like getting teased all the time. You think there's potential, you think they can make it work, but in the end, it always falls down short. And now we see ForZe putting on a lot of pressure. It's going to be a fast play towards inside, I believe. The question is, can Ace do something about it? He's having a great game so far, sitting at 180 out, getting 1 kill, not enough in this situation. It's going to be a 3 versus 3 scenario. I do believe, though, the bomb is down in mini, and that is a great position for Marshall, at least, to have that under control. Not sure what they can do about that right now. Flit has 1 smoke. So does Jerry, and he uses that to get the bomb. XE Power, again, the awareness of this kid. He is so good. He's all over the place, always ready and waiting. Wouldn't be surprised if Slayton goes down here as well in a second. Question is if XE Power has any idea. He probably does not, and there we go. 2 versus 2 retake, Tom. This can go both ways.
Yeah, there's now possibilities, but they're just trying to clear out some of these angles. Flit actually gets aggressive, but I don't think they spotted Jerry at all. Going exactly the same way at the same time, and well, this is just going to be a problem now for the CT side. They have actually no idea, but Manti, just at the right moment, turns his head and wins them that 7th round.
7-6 it is, and that was a great retake. Once again, I think Slayton has really improved compared to how he was performing on train. I think he was at a certain point sitting 1 and 12 on that T-side train, having a rough game. This game so far, he's been the best performing player in terms of statistics. He's sitting at 13 kills, but he's also been very impactful. This retake again, getting 2 kills, showing great awareness, waiting for the players from ForZe to make their move and make their mistake, and then capitalizing on it. So great play by him, and now, as you said, 7-6. This is a competitive game. You can't really rule anyone out of this one so far. I would say ForZe have been playing, you know, dare I say, better so far. I think they are on the hotter side, T-side, and they're looking to get maybe 7 or 8 rounds this half, which is a great sign for them. But overall, it's been competitive, and I think it's been exactly what we expected. So the Marshall guys, they stepped up to the occasion, and they're playing much better Counter-Strike right now. Ace as well, sitting at 114 ADR, 13 rounds into the game. That's impressive.
Yeah, the only worry is we had a similar scenario yesterday when they played versus Furia, and I don't know if they got 0 or 1 rounds on the T side, but they really, really struggled on that T side, and I can definitely see that happening again. We've already witnessed it on Train, where they did a lot of decent things, but never actually managed to win any of the rounds. So at least this time they've got off to a better start. I think it's a lot less demoralizing going into that CT or going into the T half with at least some rounds on the board.
That was the shot you can't afford to miss right there from DC. We saw how impactful he was in Train in the beginning of that game with the AWP. Now he's being pushed up, and he's going to go down here unless something goes completely wrong. He's actually missing 3 or 4 shots here that he could have hidden. That's a little bit of a problem. Ace now all by himself under heaven. XG Power ready to do the inside split. This looks like another force round. Unless they can put a span into it. Jerry takes down Minio. Facecrack is not aware of heaven. Ace gets up there, gets the first kill. He's not feeling confident enough to go for the second duel. And at this point, it's going to be a 3 versus 2 retake scenario. And I think if I'm the Swedes right here, looking at the money, I would probably just save. You know, bring those guns into the next round. And I think that's exactly what they're doing as well. If they can get away with 8 rounds on the CT side, that's going to be enough. That's going to be fine. That's going to be okay. It's going to make sure the game is still within the grasp of their own hands and still, you know, very competitive. So ForZe once again showing that they can grind out the rounds. You know, we've seen them play fast. We've seen them do some force buys with CCs being successful with that. But now we also see they can win rounds, you know, with full utility, full guns, just walking around the map, making sure to get the peaks, get the trade frags, and in the end then close out the rounds by simply just being a man up. So showing a lot of versatility right now, and I think that's, for the Swedes at least, it's tough to deal with, right? There's a lot of inexperience in this team. It's one of the first times they're sitting on a big stage like this. They know that if they lose Nuke, they're out of the tournament. So yeah, a lot of pressure on these guys right now. But I will say, though, that they're dealing with it perfectly fine. I wouldn't expect anything more from them. I think they're playing fine. I think they're doing fine. Maybe sometimes lack a little bit of individual brilliance. We saw DC in this round miss a few bullets. He probably should have connected. But apart from that, they're doing just fine.
Yeah, I think as well that they've come into one of the most brutal sort of, well, brackets that they could have done. Like, the 2 matches that they could get eliminated by are Furia and ForZe, teams that have challenged and beaten some of the best teams in the world in the past.
Two teams who at a certain point were top 10 teams in the world.
Exactly. So it's like, you basically got the worst you could have done. Obviously, there's the likes of Heroic who are still up to come, and I think, again, like on their day, Crazy are really tough to play, but it's one of those opens where I feel like maybe if they managed to qualify for Atlanta or something like that, where some of the teams, like, there were weaker opportunities there, they could have won a map, they could have beaten a team, but in this sort of scenario, I just don't see it happening. DZ, at least this time, is going to kick off the round with a bang, and those smokes have missed a little bit, so he's given an opportunity. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to take it, and I always worry when I see XC Power just lurking around an angle, watching for a player. Flying in once again, doing damage, and he's actually going to smoke them off. Nade will cause them some problems. For a second, I thought he was going to go through the smoke.
Yeah.
I think there was a temptation there, but not going to take the risk, knowing that he's one of the only defenders on this side. There has been a rotation back from Manti as well, but he's one of the players who currently has a deagle. And now with the bomb drop, this is a much better scenario for Michelle.
Definitely so. It looks like this round is not going to go anywhere if you're a ForZe fan. Sladen with a nice little flash there. I like that. Nice detail. Flit takes him down, though, but it's still 4 versus 2. There's not really a lot of room to be worked with. DC in a great position here with the AWP as well to shut it down. Manti sitting with a deagle in a very prominent position as well. That nade, though, that's going to hurt a little bit, and he's going to burn to death. XC Power maybe has a shot here, but Manti, nope, shuts him down. Nice wallbang to finish it off. 8-7 half, you know, I think that's okay for Marshall.
Yeah, not a bad one overall, but it's still a long, long way to go if they're going to survive. We'll see if they can take it to a third after the break. A much more brawly first half than what we saw in the first map, but even still a decent T side coming out from ForZe. They go onto the CT side of Nuke, and we know that Marskalk struggled yesterday going into the T side versus Furia. The odds firmly against them, and I can't say I'm surprised at this point, but I'm hoping they at least put up a good showing. Maybe take us to a third map and give the Swedes something to cheer about.
Yeah, let's hope they can do it. Manti put on a lot of pressure towards XiPower. XiPower found himself down to 43 HP after that. He's still able to get 1 kill here, and it's going to be a trade scenario. Ace almost getting taken down. Manti down to 4 HP. I'm not sure what's going on right now. The Swedes are pretty much all over the map, but what you can see is that they're losing a lot of HP right now. Flit is taking another double kill. He's been playing hearts out this series so far. DC finally putting him down, and it's a 2... No, you know what? Never mind. It's over. It's over. The pistol round is over, Tom. ForZe wins it, and that was a messy one. It seemed like they had a plan of putting on some pressure towards the door, then try to force the rotation, but for whatever reason, Manti got surprised by XiPower standing just in front of him and seemed to miss a smoke as well, I think. So plan really went out of the window, and when it came down to the duels, as we've seen so far in this game over and over again, the individual skill is favoring ForZe, right? They're better individual players, so if it gets down to that brawly counter-strike where you have to win your duels, the Swedes will lose out. So hopefully they have more in store for us on this T side. If they can approach it with a tactical sense, I definitely think they have a shot of making this one to a third map.
I got a question. When it comes to the current economy system, you see a lot of teams going for many variations of their second round buy. Like ForZe, very heavy with SMGs. Like that seems to be their focus. Like one rifle purchased up, and then they go for rebuys in the next round. A lot of teams do the opposite, where they go for the majority of rifles. It's not about making all that extra cash. Do you think there's a preference or a favor at the moment, or is it just like whatever the team seem to fancy?
I think it's whatever the team seems to fancy, in the sense that there's different types of teams, right? I like to see what ForZe is doing, simply because ForZe is playing the brand of Counter-Strike they're playing, you know, running around, being very aggressive, doing stuff like this, you know, taking a lot of risk, taking a lot of chances. And if you do that with an MP9 and you do that with an SMG, it's most likely it's going to work out better for you than if you have an M4 and no utility. So in that sense, I think it suits the way ForZe is playing. But it's great to me that you can see so many different, you know, variations of how you play those second rounds. Same goes on for the T side. Some teams, they decide to fully save, so they have a lot of utility, a lot of grenades, and all the AK-47s they want in the second round, as you're seeing from Marshall here, and other teams like ForZe, well, they decide to force up and have a certain plan with it. So there's ways of doing it. This, though, is not a way of doing it, and that went pretty quickly. All of a sudden, this round is a 5 versus 2 ace with a nice little wallbang through hot. They tried to be aggressive. They tried to treat this as a bonus round. Problem is, XiPower has an AWP, so this is not a bonus round. This is a round that is very winnable, or was very winnable for ForZe. Maybe pissing it away a little bit.
Well, the other thing as well is like that rifle that is on FaceCrack at the moment wasn't saved from the last round. They actually lost the rifle, so that was another rebuy. They basically spent everything other than what's onto Flit, which, I don't know. I could easily see him just throwing an AWP over to XiPower in the next round. That's if they even take this one, because he's now managed to get a second kill. Good position for FaceCrack. Turns it into a 2 versus 2. I don't know how this has fallen apart, but luckily an extra kill comes in for sliding him while the taps aren't quite there for FaceCrack. They get through it in the end, but considering what, that was a 5v2, it comes way too close.
Comes way too close. It seems like it's the same case scenario we had in the first half. ForZe winning the pistol round, winning the second round, then losing the third one by being a little bit too aggressive in the way they're playing. This time around, though, you're right. XiPower is getting an AWP. They are forcing up CC's.
And they won this in the last map.
P250. They won this in the last map, but it's up to XiPower now. He has to do the job. He has to make an impact with this AWP. His teammates are very low on utility, low on guns. This is a great opportunity for Marshall to really, really, really get back inside this game. You know, going up 10-9 on the T side, forcing ForZe to have a safe round, that could be very, very good for them. Yeah,
but all I've learned is whatever happens, don't give Flit an AK-47.
Okay.
He will win this round. It happened in the last one. He got 3 kills while hiding on Stopper on the A site of Train. Doesn't even have Kevlar this time, but I'd still be worried if walking into his crosshair. He is going to be the man that they look to contest. If he gets an AK here, it means he's probably got 4 kills along the way. So I think there'll be some real problems. Jerry's actually in the corner as well. Mesa boosted up. This is a really nice setup, actually, from ForZe. And I think the T's, rightly so, have just decided, okay, yeah, let's go away from that. That's a terrible idea.
Definitely right now. The problem is the rotation got to come in. It is XiPower. FaceCrack finding another one here. That's going to be easy for him. 2 kills with a 5-7, and it's all falling apart for Marshall. Beautiful stuff from ForZe. I like the way they waited for them to get inside to ramp, right? They stayed there. They played off each other. They sort of like baited the players from Marskalk to walk into it. And then Marskalk reacted a little bit too slow. As soon as they knew there were 3 guys towards ramp, rush inside. They didn't rush inside. They walked back to inside, and then they tried to walk out inside. So you just got to go all the way. You got to catch them off guard. They weren't able to. Again, a little bit of hesitation here from the Swedes. A little bit of inexperience, dare I say it. And they're just getting punished by it right now.
And again, it's that same sort of situation where you now give a massive boost to the economy of ForZe. They've retrieved 2 AKs, a Galil to play with. They keep the AWP from the previous round as well. So basically, they've had to rebuy 1 weapon and utility, and that weapon ended up being a FAMAS. So this is pretty much as bad as it gets economy-wise for the T side. As now, okay, sure, they might be able to put a little bit back into this round. They've got enough to at least buy some AKs. You can see them buying a Galil for extra utility. But the CT side, they've got that extra like sort of bonus round there where they can buy up again without any real problems.
Sure they can, and now we're getting to a point in the game where you need to string some rounds together. If you're Marshall, you don't want to go down 12-9. You don't want to be forced in a position where you have to have a half buy again and really being pressured on the economy. You can see the utility is already very lackluster on the Swedish side. They have a few Galils, a single Galil, but there's not any utility left on the Swedish side. And we're only, what is it, 30 seconds into this round almost. So it's going to be down to the duels. It's going to be down to them hopefully being able to manipulating with the CT rotations. Jerry in a good position though. He has a Galil though from this distance. I'm not sure if you're a fan of that, Tom. I necessarily wouldn't be, but maybe Jerry can make it work. The answer's no.
No.
No,
unfortunately.
Never mind. Yeah, he tried.
Tried his best. He can rebuy something better in the next round. And while they've pushed into this A side with only FaceCrack as the defender, still gets a double kill though. I feel like he needed to be traded out much sooner than that. But the T's have at least gone after Plan. They killed off XP as well. Once again, they didn't do any damage to Armeza there. Flip pushing forward as well and leaving. Just sliding in a 1 versus 2. Bomb is down, at least in a decent position, but Armeza makes that FAMAS look way more powerful than I think you'll ever see it before.
Another missed opportunity. Marshall had everything they wanted. Inside control, you're 4 against 4. You have 2 guys stuck up in heaven. You have a guy coming in from mini. Problem is they had 0 utility. I pointed it out in the beginning of the round. You can't do anything, right? Just 1 smoke to smoke down mini, so you don't have to worry about that. You can maybe have 2 eyes watching towards heaven. That duel won't be lost against Elmaster, and that is round over. That's 1 single smoke, you know. That's the effect of the utility that they're missing right now, Marshall. It's a problem. Maybe a little bit of misbehaving in terms of the economy, but here we go. Pushing fast towards ramp. That's going to be all about Elmaster. He's going to push into it, though. He's blinded completely. Gets 1 kill. Doesn't connect the second one. XP in a good position. Hits a nice shot here. Hits a second shot as well. XP is on fire. That is overextending a little bit, though. That was not necessary at all. We now have a 2-on-2 on our hands, Tom, and this is another opportunity. We need to see them capitalize of this. Scores 9-12. You cannot afford to lose any more rounds if you're Marshall.
They finally have a chance to really do the damage, and Manti's the one just leading the way. 4 kills already for him in this round, and it's left all onto FaceCrack. He's had a great game so far. 98 ADR. They're just being patient. The T's not over pushing here, just waiting for him to peek into the angle, trying to play this as a duo, not giving him that individual duel, and he walks around the corner. It's an ace for Manti, a big round that they needed. Someone to step up, and that's exactly what he does.
Completely unnecessary, though, from ForZe to lose this round. There was no way they should have lost it. I don't know why. I don't know why that was necessary. We see Elmaster goes down here. He was pushing, and you know you can argue that's okay. XP hitting nice 2 shots. That peak right here, him coming in for the 3rd one, that is just pure stupidity. There's no reason to do that whatsoever for XP. Fall back, you have a 3 versus 2. You know both of the guys are ramp. You can restructure your team and make sure to win out the round if you force. He didn't do that. Overextended and gave them a shot right. Now we have 12-10 on our hands. We have the Swedes with a decent economy again. This time around, they have a lot of utility to spend. This is the shot. They stand a chance now, Tom, of making a comeback into this game. I want to see some more coolness coming out from ForZe, right? I want to see them close down the game. The question is, can Flip do it?
Oh, of course he can. Once again, spraying down 2 players. Make it a 3rd as they enter the site. This round is already over. It's left on to DZ, and while he has not shown up in this 2nd map, once again, when they need him, Flip, he's there.
A little bit demoralizing in the sense that you try to talk up you know, you try to talk up the Swedes' chance, and they have a chance. They're playing well right now, Marshall, but every single time you think they're in the game, every single time you think, okay, now they have a shot, now they got a chance, they fall short every single time, right? And that's maybe the difference between the two teams right now, that ForZe are just more experienced. They have more coolness. They know how to close out the rounds. Once again, they're playing fast here towards ramp. They're putting on some pressure. Not deciding to go through with it. DC brought up and up. We haven't seen him up much in this game. We saw it on Train, very impactful in the beginning. Then we saw it in the beginning of Nuke as well on the CT side. He didn't really have an impact. Now this is the later stages of the game, and he's once again trying to pull out the big green. See if he can find something. Maybe find Exi Power, get an opening, and give the Swedes another chance of fighting their way back into this game. This is a very slow round. Haven't really had any map control. Utility is already out now.
Oh, Jerry's position though.
It's going to be dangerous. Exi Power finding the first one as well. They're not going to pay attention to Jerry. He's definitely going to get a second kill right here. Oh, he's playing it smart, and then with him walking away, this could be the death sentence. This could be it. There we go. Nice shot from Jerry. There's another guy close. DC gets that kill though with the AWP. That's nice. Still though, we're in a 4 versus 3 scenario. 3 versus 3 though. Almaster can't hold on to it. Now we got a 2 versus 2, Tom. They got ramp control. 43 seconds to work with as well. It's definitely a chance here.
FaceCrack has to be careful. There's a man right behind him. If he wins that battle on DZ though, that is the bomb. And with only 30 seconds up and coming on the clock, there's a good possibility. That's such an important shot to hit. And it's not going to happen, but at least Manti quick enough on the trade. He has stepped up huge over the last few rounds. An ace in one, 3 in this one. He needs to end it with a quad, and he's up against Exi Power, who's going to hear the rotation, could make his way back towards that B side, but Manti has baited him in. He's going to get a free plant. He's up against the AWP of Exi Power as well, and while Exi Power opened the doors, there's nobody home, and he has to try and get back. And well, I like the fact that he's going to go on the long rotation. Going up that vent with an AWP, the chance of him winning that duel, slim to none. Going to give away his position very early on, and probably going to go in with a P250 you'd expect, but actually is Manti to win it anyway. A big round once again. That's 9 kills over 2 rounds for him, and he is dragging his team through this T-side, kicking and screaming.
He's definitely keeping them in the game right now. Well played once again by Manti. ForZe, they are starting to slip away a little bit. 2 rounds in a row now where I would say they probably should have won it. They probably should have closed out the game by now. It should have been 15-10. That's not the scoreline of 15-9 even. That's not the scoreline now, 13-11. No money in the side of unfortunately, they have to once again go for the CCs. A single MP9, a few deagles, and a single flashbang on Exi Power. Marshall really have a good chance here of getting back into the game. Putting 12 rounds on the board. Once again, taking it slow, not taking any chances, and I like that. You know, they have been burned a few times by the force buy of ForZe, so this time playing a lot more careful. See if they can find a player overextending, or at least make sure not to get surprised by some weird stack from the ForZe guys. So there we go. A is finding Jerry. He was pushing up towards outside. He gets punished, and now you're grouping up towards ramp. It's only Almaster there. Now FaceCrack finds the timing, gets a nice shot with the 5-7. Almaster here with a deagle. He gets caught off guard. He's going to go down without a single kill here. Oh, is he? No, never mind. He gets 2 kills. How on earth did that happen? Now it's a 3 versus 2 scenario. A is in a half HP. He's dropping down, getting a kill here in the back on Exi Power. Ooh, Minio finding FaceCrack. This is a weird round. It's all over the place. All over the place, and then it ends.
Yeah, there's so many kills in that where I have absolutely no idea how any of them happened. Like, even FaceCrack at the beginning, just 2-tapping someone with a 5-7 is filthy enough. And then Almaza, completely on the back foot, running in the wrong direction, turns around and gets 2 kills with the deagle. It makes absolutely no sense.
Look at this, though. 2 Mac 10s. This got to be a fast play. You don't buy 2 Mac 10s when you have $1,600 and $900 in the bank. You would have gone for something else. Must be an inside rush or ramp rush, maybe. They're going to put up the pace here.
Yeah, Minio as well with an extra 3 grand, so they easily could have dropped weaponry over if they desired it.
That's it. A smoke, and they decide to stay away from the plane, I think. Yeah, well, now you're left with 2 Mac 10s in a round that is potentially going to decide your entire future within this tournament. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, but again, if you have a plan, you got to stick to it. And it seems like they're just going to burst out ramp here any second. Almaster in a good position, though.
And they've been overwhelmed quite a few times, though, on this ramp spot. I think it's been one of the weaknesses for ForZe, in fact. Almaza gets the first shots. That's one of the Mac 10s. The peek-in is a little bit delayed, and that gives a chance to Jerry to reposition. But Ace is actually going to be able to trade 2 back. It gives them a way onto that B side, but there's already rotation there. And, of course, it's Exi Power. A great position. We saw him hit every single shot the last time he was around this angle. Question is, can he do anything here? He's just waiting patiently. Eventually gets smoked off. Face crack the same, so shouldn't be much they can do to deny this plant. That at least leaves the T's in an after plant position. And I'll be honest, I'm not even sure we've seen a B site retake in any of the Nuke maps we've casted.
No, it's incredibly tough to do anything about it. DC as well in a great position. XyPower finds Ace though. That may be the opening ForZe needs here. DC starting to second guess himself. He knows there's a guy down here on the right, but he's also afraid from the back. Face crack finds another kill. Now it's all up to DC. He's been having a rough game so far, and he's not gonna be able to pull this one off. You said it yourself, Tom. You don't think you've seen it before. This time around it happened. Face crack once again. The catalyst behind it, XyPower staying alive, getting that one kill that opens up the entire round, and all of a sudden we look at ForZe at 14 rounds. We look at Marskalk with 0 money whatsoever on the bank accounts. At least, yeah, maybe a few players can buy up. Question is if they're gonna go for it. I think they will. They have to at this point, right? You can't allow ForZe to get a match point. 14-12. This is the last shot the Swedes have. There's gonna be a Galil, there's gonna be a two Galils and a P250. It's not the best buy. There's gonna be a lot of utility though. Question is, how do they want to deal with this? Smokes towards outside, putting on some pressure. Let's see what the Swedes has.
And no surprise to see Manti waiting over towards the ramp once again. It's been his success story. 9 of his kills coming from around that position. Has been pretty hit and miss though. It seems like either it goes fantastic or he gets killed very quickly. And well, they can't afford that in this sort of round. It would be complete bankruptcy going into the next if they were to lose this one. That's sort of the problem of the back and forward nature of their rounds is they don't have any loss bonus. Oh, I honestly thought Flip was going to get both there. I can't say I would have been surprised, and so much damage done through the wall as well. Minio actually has the bomb. He really can't afford to go down, and actually Jerry, he's going to capitalize, get the second. DZ at least, I think that was actually through the wall, gets the trade, and it really is, again, just an all-out brawl with Manti left on 46 HP. He's been the man to watch, expecting a player to be just around this corner. He's not wrong, but maybe not quite the right corner. XyPower with an uncharacteristic miss. He has the support of his teammate, and Almeza waiting patiently for that kill.
Yeah, once again, as you said, a brawly fight. We're gonna have ForZe on match point now. It's looking tough. It's looking tough for Marshall. They have no money coming into this round. Minio on $3,000 as the guy with the most money. They're gonna buy up some pistols, I believe, some utility, that's it. Can't afford much more, maybe a few Mac-10s, we'll see. There we go, we got an SMG, we got a Mac-10. A little bit of utility, they have to do something fast. They have to do something explosive with these guns. They can't just wait around and wait for ForZe to make mistakes. They're not going to with these guns. It seems like that's the approach they're gonna have. Manti though, as you said, he's been the player to watch this game. Getting an opening kill with the Deagle now. Outside by the vents, and they have no idea. Ooh, Flit almost finds him here through the smoke. This is the guy though. This is the guy that can turn it around for Marshall. He's been playing hearts out. A beautiful performance by Manti. It's a lot to ask for though. Facing elimination point against ForZe.
And with such a disadvantage when it comes to the weaponry. Just got to be careful, because Manti has managed to get out the door. Sneak maybe a little bit further than he would have expected, and the outside smoke's actually deep to try and gain some ground, but Jerry more than aware of the position they're trying to take. Timing for Manti is good, and he does manage to get his second kill, but even still, 16 HP, his teammate with a Mac-10, but again, managing to catch out XyPower, and that's an AWP retrieved. 50 seconds left on the clock, so he's not in any sort of rush to make a move. Can he get down? Can he get the bomb down? Can he get an after-plant position? Seems like Jerry's going to go fight him.
Seems like Jerry is already aware. Minio smokes off the right side of the door, planning safe. At least he's getting the bomb down. Question is, where do you go from now? Definitely heard one of the guys down towards the door. I'm not sure if he knows that both guys are down there. He's repositioning himself into a great position. That's going to be sitting out in the open, though. I don't like that. Please go up to ramp where you have some courage to work with. Missing the first shot here, and you're going to be in the open, and that's it. It's over. You had a chance. You did it. You made it competitive. You got pressured, forced down to a point where you thought this could potentially go to OT, but in the end, you weren't able to capitalize. I think you got to give credit to the Swedes, though. They played well. Manti as well. That ace, 2 rounds with 9 kills, that was really well played by him. Showed some potential, so glimmer of what maybe we can expect from the future, but in the end, they're facing a much stronger opponent than ForZe, and rightfully so, they're winning this 1-2-0.
Yeah, and I think as well, the thing to point out is there was quite a few hero plays actually coming out from the ForZe side. Like, you know, the after plant position was like a 1v3 from XePower on the AWP in the first half. You had that a couple of rounds throughout this matchup where they managed to win with a few pistols and like a single AWP, which I feel against some of the better teams in the tournament, you can't bank on that. Like, he's a fantastic player, but if you're against a heroic, I think if you have one AWP and a few pistols, they're probably going to take that off you.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you look towards ForZe as well, now we give compliments to the Swedes. They did as best as they could, and I think that was impressive. Now, ForZe, if you look further in this tournament, was this good enough for them to go on and win the entire thing? I think the disc can potentially enlighten us on that. But I think ForZe right now is maybe not up in the same shape as we saw earlier this year.
Yeah, and that could definitely be a bit of a worry for them, like going forward, as they are going to get tougher and tougher opposition as they go, which, hey, I think they got Furia coming up next, which is definitely going to be one of those matches to watch. But I don't know. I think they're definitely a team that could rise into the tournament. I think also their train performance was impressive.
Very impressive. And you saw some of those individuals, right? XePower, potentially the best AWP player in the entire tournament. Him getting off, that's a good sign as well. Going up against Henny, Furia, as you said, that's going to be an interesting duel. I think ForZe is a team that you have to look out for. And after this one, you know, I think the analysts can talk to us much more about that. Maniac, what do you got?
Hey, bro, this is
me,
my
all right?
show.
No, he asked me. I am the captain now.
Hey, Pimp. He's already gone. He has no questions for me, Maniac, so we will let you break this one down. A 16-4 to a 16-12. I mean, we questioned the train pick. I thought maybe they'd pull something out. Maniac, you seem pretty critical of it from the get-go, and I think that's fair because it wasn't a map that Marskalk were able to walk in and really get anything done.
No, so first of all, during the veto, I was surprised that they would go for a train. Again, very close map, very tactical map, very complicated map to play if you end up starting on the T side, which it is what happened to them. And then, looking at Nuke, 16-12, they make it quite competitive. They push ForZe to their limits. That makes it even that much more frustrating that they pick train. Now, you know, with ifs and buts, you know, but I mean, another map, another first map, more open, maybe a Dust to a Mirage, that could have been a discussion. Now, on train, there was nothing to be said.
Definitely, you know, but I think Marskalk was in one of those scenarios where they had to kind of pick their poison. They were always at a disadvantage going into this map veto. They were always at a disadvantage going into this series, and Train is one of those maps that they are somewhat comfortable on. So I think it was an okay pick, an okay idea. It was just their approach, the mid-round. You heard Tom Biz talking about it during that match. Just a few clutches that didn't go their way. It completely turned that Nuke game around, and on Train, it didn't allow them to even get into the match.
I think there is a point that needs to be made about individual prowess on the side of ForZe, right? It's not only that they can do it, but it's that I think Marskalk allowed them to, and that's the key. When someone has a crazy clutch, it's always part, he's a genius, he had the move, part, you messed that up. And obviously for Marskalk, that was the case a few times.
Yeah, well, we've got a winner's interview standing by, and it's nobody other than Jerry. Hey, man, how are you feeling?
Good, I think.
Yeah, doing good. Did you sleep well?
Yes, definitely. 8 hours.
That's an excellent start to the day.
It's okay.
Nice. It's nice to see you guys get through a series pretty clean. That second map was a little bit closer, but the first one, nice and easy. And I'm assuming that's how you would want this series to go.
I think, what did you ask actually?
I don't know what I asked really, Jared.
Because I didn't hear a question, but if you ask like, did you like the game or not, I think it was kind of tough Nuke, because we tried to train some things, but they didn't work well. Like sometimes you think like you can do some new thing in map, and your enemies didn't expect that, but they were just playing kind of different, because maybe they're playing like a mix or something, so it didn't work. And what can I say about Train? It went very well. We won CT pistol and we won T pistol, so it's kind of easy.
Nice, easy start to the day. Matthew, you have a question?
Yeah, nice, easy day. My question is, so recently you had very good results with ForZe. I'm thinking about Moscow, for example, where I was. Now, when you come here to this event, do you feel the pressure that you need to win? Do you feel the pressure that you need to perform? Is it something that you have in the team?
I think yes. We have pressure because we have Epicenter after that, and we have EPL qualifier. We have best of 5 against HAU, and like we need to get some confidence. And it's when you're losing first game in tournament, you're just losing that, then you go to the hotel and you think all the day. But we kind of changed that system. After we lost, we just went to the practice. We watched the whole demo and think like, what could we fix something, and then we went to the huddle. But anyway, we got a lot of time if you're losing just one best of one, and you think, and this is kind of pressure when you think a lot. So yes, my answer is yes. We got pressure here, and we're gonna have next game against Furia. It's comfortable opponent because they're playing aggressive like we do, and they're playing first timings like we do. So it's gonna be a really cool game.
Amazing, thank you.
Nice. I was just gonna say, you're playing at a tournament where the other. Let's put ForZe up there, right? Let's say that let's consider you guys a bit of a favorite. You're playing versus a team like Crazy, who have won an event recently. Godsent, they've won an event recently. Heroic, they've won an event recently. And if you go back just to say like the major run, like that was kind of like your guys' big push forward. You haven't had a push forward in a bit of time. Do you really feel like this weekend needs to be that? Do you feel like you need to be at the top of this weekend? Like top 4, is that your minimum? Where do you guys feel in terms of like placing?
I think we can do it, but we need to work more because I can say we're playing not that much as we used before because of a lot of tournaments. Like when you don't have much invites, you can just play pracs like 5 days per week, 5-6 pracs. But when you're not, when you're getting a lot of invites, you can play a lot of pracs. And when you're not getting enough practice, you're just can play that good as you played before. So as you said before, in a major, we felt like we can't be on top. Now I don't have this thing in my mind. Like I think we need to do something impressive to be on top. And like a month ago, I could have said different way, like we're on top, but not now.
Sure.
Speaking of practices in Rotterdam, I remember when we spoke with you in an interview, you mentioned that you guys weren't able to prepare at quite as much, practice quite as much going into that event. How much preparation were you guys able to do for this event?
It was like 5 days, yeah, 5 days, but it's not enough. I think the good practice, in my opinion, is 2 weeks. When you got 10 days practice and 2 days FPL per week, I think it's really good. But in this tournament, we're not so confident and prepared as we could have been.
All right. Well, Jerry, listen, you guys have a BO3 versus Furia later today. Congrats on your first win.
Thank you.
I'm glad it went really well, and best of luck later.
Thank you.
Can we just get him all the time for every interview?
Yeah.
Because no matter what team play, I would like Jerry to come and answer the questions because I really like what he had to say.
You know, here's the thing with Jerry is we've been, we talk about the kind of tribulations that ForZe have been going through in terms of their results lately, and despite Jerry always being ready for his interview, always giving a good answer, always being honest with his insight, I do feel like he's kind of less animated. He's not, it used to be all laughs and giggles when we were making easy wins in Rotterdam, dispatching of the opening teams like it was nothing. I want to see that Jerry. I want to see a smiling Jerry.
It might be a little bit of that pressure coming through for him, but I mean, that man's got a good head on his shoulders. You can absolutely see that he is the leader of that team, and you're right. I think it's an exciting time. I wish we got more Jerrys in our interviews.
Yeah, more Jerrys, more and more Jerrys. Potter, I hear you got a drawing board ready for us.
Yeah, I've got a drawing board. We're going all the way back to train, and I just wanted to highlight an opportunity that Marskalk actually had, and this is DZ. And we've been speaking about this opper on the side of Marskalk and how much impact that he has in this round. If we just play this round out, you're going to see Manti and Minio. They're able to put a lot of pressure towards this inner bomb site. Almanzar is asking for help. And ForZe, they actually kind of over-rotate. They send 2 of their mates through this connector, and it leaves that huge opening for DZ here. Now, what the DZ doesn't know is that there's no one watching outside, but he can clearly assume that there's probably one in Pop Dog, probably one in Ivy. And the move that he actually ends up making in this instance is he goes through this bomb train, and instead of securing this site and allowing his mates to kind of draw out the enemy, find out where they are, he gives up all the map control that he almost freely gained, and he pushes all the way into Pop Dog and gets a little bit unlucky and gets picked off. Now, I think in this instance, if DZ held the bomb train, held mate perhaps under tower, allowed A's, allowed Slajan to tell him, hey, everything is clear, and just kind of wait for the rotates, catch off the defenders trying to regain that map control that he just got for free, I think the opportunities would have shown himself there. Marskalk may have gotten that round. They may have gotten some momentum in that economy. And hey, this 16-4 train map, it could have turned out just a little bit differently.
I'm digging the breakdown. Very nicely done.
I'm
I
just
saw the
watching. I'm like,
finger
yeah, this is
tap.
actually very interesting. I'm just listening. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. No, but that was a good example.
It's a very good, really good round. That, like, you know, we boiled it down to like the what were the win factors for a team like Marskalk versus ForZe, and we knew it had to be in those kinds of rounds, right? So that was a big moment that just unfortunately didn't pay off all too much. But with that first elimination game done, we have another one coming up. And oddly enough, two teams that at the beginning of the weekend you may have expected to find in the finals, most certainly the playoffs. It is Heroic versus Team Crazy coming up after the break.